Oh, hello. Tonight we're going to be making some Afghani Mantu, which are a Afghani dumpling. First thing I'm going to do is I have some oil heating up there, and I'm going to add a pound of ground hamburger to it. Here we go. Oops. Still a little hot. There we go. All right. We're going to have that go and cook for us. And adding to it, we have a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of ground coriander, and half a teaspoon of turmeric, ground turmeric. We're also going to add about 2 cloves of minced garlic, which is about a tablespoon and a half there. And we're going to add that in, get everything cooking. And we're just going to stir that up, get it cooking and browning up. And we'll show you what it looks like when it's all done here. You just want to stir it and cook everything, keep it on low heat. I also am preheating my oven to a lowest temperature it goes, but still is warm. For a lot of people, that's 175. Because you're going to have to do this dish in batches. Or if you have like our stove, we have a bread-proof function on it. So I have that going right now, which is a little bit lower than that 175. It'll keep everything nice and warm and allow stuff to grow and stay warm. It works really good. I like it. If you have to get a new stove, I definitely recommend it. But if not, you know, just turn it on as low as it goes. I've even seen ovens that have a warm function. So we'll be back in just a minute. All right, so our meat's pretty much browned here and cooked through. We're just waiting on the last few pieces of pink and bigger pieces to break up. We're going to add in a little bit of cracked black pepper. You're also going to want to cut up about 2 medium onions into a fine dice, and you'll be using that here at the end after everything cooks. Oh, and we'll show you that in just a minute. All right, our meat's all done. So we're going to give it one last stir here, and I've killed the heat. I'm going to take my bowl with my onions in it, and I'm just going to add the meat into that. You can also add in cilantro at this time too, usually about 1 good-sized bunch you would just get at the grocery store, and that can be added in as well. But unfortunately, 2 of my kids, they've got the gene that makes cilantro taste like soap, and I'm not going to add it to here and have them have a dish they can't enjoy and eat. Couple options. You could separate or split this, but I find dumplings taking a bit of time to do, so I generally try and just make it all as one if I'm not going to make them ahead of time. So we'll leave the cilantro out tonight, but you're definitely welcome to mince that up and add it to the mix here. We have everything a good stir here. You'll see that fresh onion and that meat. You've also probably noticed on the stove, I've got a new addition, which is a pot of water that I'm bringing up to a high simmer, and that's going to be used for simmering or steaming our dumplings when they're all ready to go. Here, so I'm going to get set up for making the dumplings and be right back. Alright, so we've let our filling cool just a bit, and I've gotten some wonton wrappers or pot sticker wrappers, or you might see them even called dumpling wrappers. I go for the square ones, but you could try doing a different shape and it would just be folded a little bit different. What you're going to do is you're going to take a little bit of water and just run it on each side of the dumpling. And I've got about a 1.5 spoonful here. Don't worry about packing it all the way. We'll have a little room around the edges here. And then you're just going to bring up both sides here. Nice little there, sort of make like a, almost looks like a cannoli if you know what those look like. And then you're just going to bring up both sides here. Make a nice little dumpling. Pinch the sides. A nice little cross shape here. There. And we'll keep doing this for each of them. And then when I've got a load ready, or a batch ready, I'm going to show you how to load your steamer basket and get it ready to go. The water's almost there, so I'm going to work real quick and get everything going, okay? Be right back. All right, so my water is just where I want it, so I'm going to turn it down pretty low. It's going to be covered, so it's going to keep a lot of it in. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my steamer basket. If you have like a different type one, you can use that. You just don't want the water directly touching the bottom of it. So this one came with some actual films that you can use with it, but I don't really like them. So I'm putting just a little bit of olive oil on the bottom there, just brushing it. And I'm going to do it on both layers since we're going to use both here. We're just going to give them just enough so they don't really stick. Nothing should stick to them too much. And then I'm just going to evenly place them out here. I've got almost up to the handles of water here just because this one sits on the top. And I don't want to crowd it too much. So we're going to do there. We'll need about 12 or so. Yeah, it's looking like about 12, 13 maybe. Yeah, it's looking like we get about 7 per layer. This one will be a little more conservative on, and we're only going to put a total of 13 versus the 14, but good to know what this steamer can take. I wouldn't really recommend boiling these. I would definitely recommend steaming, and just because I just don't think it will steam or it will boil and hold up that well in there. In a pinch, you could. One trick I actually did learn from somebody a long time ago is if you don't have a steamer, you can sort of either pieces of parchment paper and put that and pierce a bunch of holes and then wrap it over a pot and then put the lid over it and it'll actually steam through it. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to put this on top of our water and we're going to let that go for about 8 minutes and we'll come back and show you it. The reason we have the oven preheated to that is we're going to do this in batches. So I'll do each batch, put them in there, put them in the oven to stay nice and toasty. I'll actually tent them with some aluminum foil so they don't dry out. And as we get that going, then I will actually do a sauce to go with this as well. Be back. All right, so we have the first batch done, and we're just going to open this up and see how they look. Oh, that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see just this slightly translucent, and they just peel right off. I'm going to grab a quick, oh, pardon me, forgot to stop my timer there. I'm going to pull a quick cutting board out, or not a cutting board, a cookie sheet here. And we're just going to transfer them onto this cookie sheet. We'll give them a nice coverage here. Just double checking, making sure nobody's sticking. You can just see, oh, look how nice those look. All right, and then we'll check our first layer. You can still see it steaming there, coming off. Don't worry about that. And then we're just going to give these guys a nice tent with a piece of aluminum foil when I stick it into the oven on the bread proof or the lowest setting. And that'll just help keep everybody nice and tasty and not sticky. You do want to oil your basket in between each round, just so it keeps from sticking and it keeps going. If your water's a little too low, add it in, get it back up to that simmer, and keep going. I'm going to get the next batch in, and I'm going to set up everything for that sauce I talked about. Be right back. Alright, so for this sauce, we are going to be making a yogurt mint sauce with a few extra flavors that you'll might find interesting, might not like, who knows. You know, expand your horizons. We have a cup of unsweetened yogurt. You can use Greek yogurt if you like, or just regular. Just don't want it to be too sweet. Then we're going to add about 1 clove of garlic here. It's been minced down. There we go. Just a little bit of salt, not much here. I'm going to get about 3 old cracks from the salt grinder there. And then I've got about a teaspoon and a half, 2 teaspoons range of mint. I like a lot of mint in my stuff, so I'm a big mint fan, so I'll do that. You could use dry. The recipe we did see, fine, called for dry, so you're just going to give that a quick stir. If it is too thick, like this seems to be, you can always add just a little bit of water. I'm just going to add just about a few drizzles at a time. So I get to a consistency that seems like it'll pour over these dumplings and make them just elevated to a different level. You can see it coming together there. Bring it in. You can see the mint in there. It already smells really good. I'm going to add a little bit more. For Greek yogurt, the recipe we did find, and it's saying you ended up needing about 5 teaspoons or so, which I would agree with. That probably seems about right. This isn't Greek yogurt. This is just a plain unsweetened yogurt, so it's not as thick. And probably another half teaspoon or so. There we go. Again, we're eyeballing this. You just don't want to go over and under. That's seeming like a good sauce consistency. So we'll come back with a finished plated dish and show you how everything looks all together. Alright, and there is our finished product. We still have a couple batches to go, but wanted to be able to show you what it looks like. Again, you can add cilantro if you want. I left it out for this recipe since a lot of my family doesn't handle cilantro well, but enjoy!